Here are the quick points for the July Ashes of Creation developer update. In the woods. Steven used to run a huge guild, 17,000 plus members on a Discord server. This has literally nothing to do with Ashes of Creation, but it does confirm indeed Steven does go big dick or nothing, which lines up pretty well as the scope of the game he is directing the creation of is pretty massive. After the month-long Alpha 1 ends, there will be some spot testing between the end of A1 and the beginning of Alpha 2. However, there will be large gaps of time, probably several months, with no new content to play. This should be expected with Intrepid's current vision of the game. There's an extremely huge amount of content and systems to be designed, implemented, and then finally the fun part, tested by us. That's right, devs, toil away for thousands of hours just so I can log into the game on patch day, play for 3 days, decide I've beat the game, and quit. Love you guys. For this month's studio update from Steven, he said all of the workstations in the new studio are set up and ready to go. 40 people are already in the new studio and working, and it sounded like over the next week, all of Intrepid's employees will be moved into the new studio, which is very exciting. Everyone at Intrepid has been waiting to get back into a physical studio for a long time due to COVID regulations, so this is a huge milestone. Some would say it's pretty poggers. Next, and this is probably the biggest news of this month's dev update, a new version of non-rooted combat was shown. Non-rooted as opposed to what we have now in Alpha 1, where your attack locks you in a forward motion. Unless, of course, you are Ron Weasley, as wand users already have this type of non-rooted free-flow combat with their base attacks in the current Alpha 1. This change is going to be in-game and playable with the patch next week, and on top of that, just like we have a hotkey now to switch between action combat and tab target, there's going to be a hotkey to switch from the previous rooted combat that we already have to non-rooted combat and actually compare both side by side. This should fully flesh out what the players prefer, but from what I could tell from the reaction during the live stream and a post on Ashes of Creation subreddit with a poll, it seems like non-rooted has overwhelming support, and this will probably be the way combat functions going forward. Steven also showed an uncanny ability to stand in the pinky purple lightning attack mechanic Hand of Destruction has. Hey, don't be hard on Steven. The reason he sucks is because he spends countless hours, late nights bleeding into early mornings, making this game, not playing it. That was a joke, Steven. I love you. You don't suck. Please give me the flying raccoon, cat, bear, butterfly mount. I just want to fly to the moon and then drop into the giant volcano like Asmon did. Love you, Steven.
Wait, where's the moon? Did Steven patch in the moon that we can fly to yet? There's a secret moon base.
Also, can we take a second to appreciate how hot Steven's character was in this footage? Do I smell new hairstyle customization coming with the patch next week? Maybe? Possibly? Would be pretty cool, you know, more than 3 hairs would be nice. Maybe a couple more beards too, a couple more faces. Some sliders. Steven also gave us a bit of an idea out of what we can expect from Alpha 2. He said that every core system, or just about every core system, will be in place in Alpha 2. I don't know what constitutes a system as core or not core, but judging from the general massive scope of Ashes of Creation, and from the way he was talking, I think we can expect a very significant amount of additional content and systems in Alpha 2. Margaret also stated at the end of the month-long Alpha 1, we will get a big post detailing all of the most important data and information Intrepid have gained from Alpha 1 and some of the changes that is going to precipitate in the future. We also got to see many new in-game assets, Dunir Dwarven style fencing likely to be used for animal pens in the animal husbandry system on player freeholds, banners, fireplaces, weapon racks, bridges, etc, etc, etc. Quite a lot of new assets in this month's new update in general. A couple beautiful statues in the Kalar style, including the Goddess of Creation, one of, if not the most important god/goddess in Ashes of Creation lore, as we currently understand it. We now see some damn good looking froggy boys. Now that is what a frog mount should look like. I feel like I heard someone else say that. Probably nothing. A frog with an almost antler-like appendage like that on its head sparked a sort of related but not really idea in my mind. What about a flying/gliding mount with the general body shape and look of a Chinese dragon, but with the head of a stag or an elk. The picture I have in my head is the head of my current favorite in-game mount, the Stag of the Ancients, copy and pasted onto a similarly colored white and blue Chinese dragon, or whatever color. I don't know, maybe it would look good, maybe it would look terrible. I don't know, because I'm not a game dev or a graphic designer or a 3D model designer or a anything designer. I'm just a guy who's talking to himself in the woods at the moment. Oh boy. Next point. We also have one horny boy pulling a caravan in this in-game model, which looks quite cool, as well as a dummy-thick mushroom, which has already sparked some pretty solid memes on the subreddit. We also have a Terra Bird, quite a good-looking mount and 3D model, and an extremely concise explanation from Steven as to what a Terra Bird is.
So this is a bird, and he's definitely a terror, like he's scary to a degree. You can tell he's a bird because he has some feathers there, feathers on his, like, as hands, right? Also his beak is kind of bird-like, so it's a beautiful bird. But it's like if a dinosaur had become a bird, but not quite yet a bird fully, you know, so it's still kind of dinosaur-esque, which is the terror part of the bird. So he's a terror bird because of the dinosaur-esque elements. Yes, I've successfully explained the entire concept of how he's a mount terror bird while you were gone.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to rewatch that.
And Margaret and Steven gave a little snippet of Vec lore, which, being a future Vec player myself, was a nice little nugget of lore to hear.
You know what? Why don't we have in our culinary, stuff, we have like little terror wings?
Yeah.
Which race would make the spicy terror rings, though?
Probably either the Tulnar or the Vec, I would say.
Interesting. Vec, really? I feel like Vec are like very smart and sophisticated almost.
Oh, they are very smart, but they might have a thing against terror birds because you would imagine that having kind of been localized to the more mountainous regions and areas, they probably are at odds with many of the avian species.
Okay, fair.
Right? And because of that, you know, they might have vendettas to serve, so to speak, against those avian species of all kinds, particularly those who derive from more dinosaur-esque looking backgrounds because they likely ate some Vec.
They showed us a 3D model of a pre-order mount, the Snorsk, kind of half snail, half horse. I guess that's why they called it the Snorsk. I actually legitimately just realized that.
I just love the idea of, and I've talked about this before, of just like seeing something like slugging along and then all of a sudden, and you get up to it and it just stands up and starts chasing you.
In my personal opinion, the snail part looks amazing, but the legs look a little tiny bit like melted candlesticks to me, but maybe that's the intended look, and either way, no matter, because I am much more interested in the in-game achievable mounts. But it is a really beautiful mount. Just the legs throw me off a just tiny little bit. Towards the end of the live stream, we have one of the most striking in-game models I have seen shown on a dev update, having watched all of them for about the past year. This armor looks somewhere between Samurai and Spartan in my mind. This is Tier 5 Kalar plate, and it just looks incredible. The style of the armor isn't quite to my taste, but it is undeniably an amazing looking armor set. And I'm extremely excited to see a higher end in-game achievable armor that really impresses me. This pretty much wraps up all the quick info from the July Intrepid developer update. Subscribe if you want, you'll probably regret it, but a like would be much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching.